Matt, nice to have you here, and an excellent background you've got for us today. A real classic. Just tell us first of all, where did you get that from, and what's the story behind that photo?
That was a PR picture we did in 2008 for the Premier League. We went to the famous Abbey Road studios in northwest London and recreated the Beatles picture. It took ages. I remember on the day I picked Wayne up from where he lived at the time in Romford and drove him to Abbey Road, and it took us longer to get there from driving from Romford to North London than it took Barney to fly in from Holland. He was still at the airport in Holland when I picked Wayne up, and he got there before us. The traffic was bad. It took ages to get there. And then when we got there, it took even longer to do the picture because there's so much traffic around and so many people looking to recreate that shot. But it was good, and we got quite a lot of coverage out of it. So I read the other day that they've finally got round to touching up the lines at the zebra crossing there because it's been a lot quieter lately. So it reminded me of that picture.
Yeah. Obviously, moving on to what's going on in the PDC at the moment, the big news is obviously the PDC home tournament, 128 players, lots of the big names involved, 30 plus days of darts. Yeah. We're not seeing a lot of live sport at the moment. I think it's a real relief and a real big thing for darts considering what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're always trying to be creative and innovative, and we trialled a couple of darts at home nights with a few of the lads, and they went down pretty well. So we looked at a way in which we could deliver some content to our fans at the time when, as you say, nobody's getting anything, and also give the players something to do. And look, it's not exactly the most prestigious tournament that anybody will ever look to play in, but it doesn't really matter at the moment. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different. It's going to have some technical challenges. It's not going to look like live Premier League from 10,000 fans being 16 cameras being beamed back into your living room, but it's from the dart players' own living rooms to your living room. So at the moment, I think it's the right product for the right time.
And I think to put it together, 128 players, as I say, in such a short space of time is a real achievement, really, isn't it? Because it's not easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, not every player's playing. We've got about 80 odd at the moment, and we're hoping to get that number up. Some people aren't available. Some people don't really necessarily have the setup at home that would be required to connect and to be part of the event. But some people don't fancy it. Not many, to be honest. Not many don't want to play. We've got the vast majority of players who've responded positively and either said, look, I'm still working maybe, so I can't commit to a time. And with those, we've worked around their availability and we'll squeeze them in later on. But yeah, as you say, we've got a lot of players involved. The PDP have been good with their communication out to players, and players have been responsive. I think at the moment, if somebody offers you something to do that's perhaps a bit different to your daily routine, you'll take them up on that offer.
Yeah. So is there a plan in place to make it up to the 128 players, such as getting players for the Challenge Tour or Development Tour, or maybe even
we're going to concentrate on tour card holders. They're the professionals who at the moment are the ones we're focusing on. We'll give players a second chance. Some players a second chance, which will depend on a variety of factors. Mainly to do with their communication with their Wi-Fi at home and things like that. So some players have got better setups than others, and that's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. But we'll fill the spots with tour card holders once everybody's had at least one go.
Is there going to be a trophy for the champion, wooden spoon? What have we got planned for
that?
Well,
at the moment there isn't really a champion, so to speak, because there's 32 groups of 4 players. Hence the 32 nights. So we do have the option, of course, to take those 32 group winners on into a final phase. It all depends how long the current restrictions and it lasts and how well the tournament runs. So look, we're treating it for what it is, and it's going to be good entertainment for darts fans and some content for some of our partners who don't have content at the moment. But in terms of, are we looking to crown an overall winner or anything like that, we'll very much take that, sort of day by day, week by week. But we do have the option, to take the 32 group winners on into a second phase, if that's suitable.
And in terms of the players, first night, obviously, you've got world champion Peter Wright. I think that shows that although this tournament is a home tournament and there's nothing too much on offer for the players apart from getting some practice in, obviously changing up their routine, it's serious, and the players do want to play there, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and I think they've watched the lads who've done it over the first couple of nights. We had 9 players over the first couple of nights. We tried 5 on the first night. We felt that was a little bit too many. So 4's an easier number to manage on the night. And the second night we had 4. So they've seen them, Nathan Aspinall, Glenn Durrant, Steve Beaton, Stephen Bunting, Devon Peterson, other guys, Matt Edgar, of course, the darts biggest internet star, So Ted Everett's played. He didn't manage to turn the lights on, but he played. So we've had some interest already, and everybody who's played has said that they've enjoyed it. And I think some of the other lads have watched that, and ladies, Lisa Ashton's playing as well, and that'd be great. So people think, why not? Let's be a part of it.
Yeah, I appreciate just moving on slightly from the home tour. I appreciate it's maybe a difficult question to answer, but looking towards the back end of the year, you've still got the World Grand Prix. Obviously, the World Matchplay is still planned for July. What are we looking at in terms of qualifying criteria for them? Because there haven't been many Pro Tours, and obviously just the one Euro Tour so far.
No, there haven't, and it's not a decision we've made yet. We are and we will speak to the PDPA and resolve that. Clearly, once we've got a little bit more of a steer as to how many events we can get in before those cut-off dates, then we can look to fit the most appropriate criteria around that. We don't want to make rash decisions now in April for something that's not due to be played till October, and then find that there's either no events or 3 events instead of 10, 12, 15, 16, whatever events. We don't think, based on the announcement from the German government yesterday, that we'll be able to do too much with some of the European tour in the middle third of the year. We'd hope to be able to get some events away in July and August. That's not going to be possible now in Germany, at least. So we have to bear that in mind. And clearly with the match play, there's question marks over whether or not the match play can even take place. We hope it does, and we'll do everything we can to protect it. But certainly the third week in July would be hanging in the balance as things speak. So we don't want to rush in to make any announcements and any decisions which we then have to go back on and change again and again and again. We'd rather hold fire a little bit, wait till there's a little bit more certainty, and maybe things start to open up again. And once we're in a position where we know if we can stage tour events, because of course the criteria for tour events is a lot different to spectator events. If there was the opportunity for players to be able to travel and play safely in a tour event environment, then we would look to rearrange events appropriately. But until that becomes a possibility or a realistic possibility, it's difficult for us to put anything in place. So it's not much of an answer in terms of, I'm not telling you concrete facts, but who can at this moment in time?
Yeah, I think the players have been full of praise really for the PDC over the last few months. I mean, obviously the PDPA putting in the financial support and the mental health support as well, at a time where they're not getting to play professional darts. I think it is a good time still to be a professional darts player. They're getting a lot of help at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know what? That's because they've been part of the good times. So people who are part of the good times deserve to be looked after when the times aren't so good. And our players have been very patient and very understanding. As to be fair, the whole world has been, whatever people do for a living. But everybody knows that normal rules don't apply at the moment. So the key thing for us is to make sure that darts is in as strong a position as possible when we come out of this. That we protect the opportunity and the ability for people to be a professional dart player, and we still give opportunities for players who aren't professional or want to become professional to make that step. So we're going to look to protect every level of the sport. We're not going to be able to protect every single event at this time because we'll run out of dates to rearrange things on, as I've touched upon. But we will look to protect as much as we can and give people some optimism and something to look forward to when normality returns.
And just finally, we know you're a busy man. You're involved, obviously, in darts, football. You've got your fingers in a lot of pies. How much has it had an impact on you not being able to watch live sport and have that as part of your life?
I've got to say, I've been at home now since the day after Liverpool, which I think was the 12th of March, 13th of March, something like that. That's the longest in my adult life I've been at home, in an unbroken spell. The longest in my adult life since I've been on an aeroplane, checked into a hotel, all of those things that I've been fortunate enough to do. And parts of it are quite refreshing. I feel very fortunate to have a garden. Got my little boy who I'm spending a bit more time with. But don't get me wrong, I was working till 9:30 last night because this sort of stuff doesn't organise itself. And all our lads, and the ladies in the office, everyone's been working really, really hard during this period to keep the PDC wheels turning. Everybody on our commercial and our media sides, tournament director, you know, everybody has been putting a shift in. Because there's no good just waiting until everybody is allowed to start doing things again and then start doing things again. You need to make sure that you're best prepared for that. So from a personal point of view, you know, I've enjoyed a little bit of the downtime and the home time and stuff like that. But in the same vein, I'm still motivated to do things right professionally as best we can. It's you know, it's easy to give an answer like that after a month. You know, if we're having this conversation again in 3, 4, 5 months, I don't know if it'll be in the same position. But what I would say is to everybody, you know, don't let the pressure build up on yourselves. You know, this is a difficult time for everybody. You know, look after the health of yourself and those immediately around you, and you know, just keep yourself focused on you know, when things return to normal, because they will return to normal, and we'll all come out of this stronger.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Matt.
Thanks, Josh.